Hello everyone, my name is Nataya Young and I will be discussing the Uber and Greyball scandal, and I decided to use the Virtue of Ethics framework to analyze it. Also, I used AI to help with script drafting. All analysis and final wording in the video reflect my own understanding. So in 2017, Uber got caught using the Greyball program for matters deemed illegal by the government. Uber figured that although they weren't complying with regulations, they hoped that their services' popularity among local regulators would prompt them to look the other way and possibly even tweak legislation to be more lenient towards Uber. And they made these violations through urging customers to lobby their local government on their behalf, as well as sometimes even paying off drivers' fines so that they could continue operating in this way. Greyball was another strategy Uber relied on specifically to hide the service from government officials and show them a fake version of the app so that they couldn't get true rides. So sometimes it would show that there were no rides available, and then other times it would show that the ride was booked, but then the driver canceled for whatever reason. And Uber justified using Greyball software, claiming that government regulators who were trying to use the app to investigate the company were in violation of Uber's terms of service. And they justified its use for violating regulations by stating, "This program denies ride requests to users who are violating our terms of service, whether that's people aiming to physically harm drivers, competitors looking to disrupt our operations, or opponents who collude with officials on secret stings meant to entrap drivers." However, after the Department of Justice found out about this and made hints about a criminal probe into Uber's use of the program, Uber changed its statement, saying, "We are expressly prohibiting its use to target action by local regulators going forward." So as you can see, they started to switch up a bit. Furthermore to this, Greyball also mined credit card databases to identify credit cards associated with government agencies. Just a lot of violations in privacy, confidentiality. They also use geofencing to flag users. And the New York Times investigation also found that Uber had employees who would search social media profiles for possible law enforcement to be flagged in Greyball. And Uber even sent employees to electronic stores to collect device numbers on cheaper phones that would likely be purchased by government officials to attempt a sting. So, yes, lots of violations of all kinds of confidentiality. And it is unclear whether Uber is still using Greyball or not, but it's likely not for the same purposes that they were using previously to fend off government officials. Now, as I said before, I did choose to use the Virtue of Ethics framework to further analyze this scandal because it focuses on ethics and the moral qualities of an organization. And although, of course, breaking rules and violating confidentiality and regulations is awful, but I wanted to take a deeper look into the organization itself and Uber's willingness to neglect the virtue of honesty, normalizing deception and losing trust with drivers, regulators, and the public shows the character flaw that they have. They also violated the virtue of responsibility as a corporate citizen, weakening trust in regulatory systems, which are supposed to protect customers. And then also Uber's carelessness to forsake its integrity, showing its deeper internal issue, as I was saying, the character flaw, and trying to win by any means necessary, regardless of the risk. So in conclusion, analyzing the global scandal reveals that Uber wasn't only violating regulatory standards, but also had poor moral qualities. Uber acted in ways inconsistent with the character of a trustworthy, socially responsible organization. And lastly, I would recommend for Uber to do a company evaluation and determine what matters more to them. Is it customer trust and social responsibility, or is it having your way and trying to navigate and get into things that you know you shouldn't be doing or that are morally wrong? Thank you for listening.